Today I'll be calling cable. My name is Wakar Meyer and I'm your Elliott Wave analyst, reviewing what has been and predicting what is likely to be in cable price action. So since the last video, I said that this entire move down to where I have the V was 5 waves and that it was an expanding diagonal. And if that were the case, the question was, okay, what do you call it? Do you call this 5 waves down 1, or do you call it C of a larger fourth wave? Well, in the last video, I chose to call this top the completion of wave 2. So I'm going to call this 5 waves down. I'll give it the label here of, and I'm kind of sloppy with my labels, but just so long as you can tell they're of different degrees, that is going to be called 1. All right. And since then, we got a pretty strong movement upward, right, in the long direction. But then that movement was entirely retraced. You can see that this little tail of the candle got below what I was calling the terminus of 1. So that means that this move up had to have been 3 waves. It couldn't have been 5 waves unless, of course, it was a C wave. But I'm counting it as 3 waves up in A wave, then to here. Then you have 3 waves down in B wave to here. And I believe that what you have here is a contracting diagonal. So you've got 1, 2, 3 is finished, 4 is probably finished, and it's making 5. If I zoom in on that picture, you can see that 3 surpasses what I'm calling 1, and you can see that if this indeed is 4, you can see it gets into the price territory of 1, and it's shorter than 2 right here. This would be 2. That would be the terminus. So let me go back to the other thing to keep in mind is that generally when the 5th wave is the extended wave, and per my count you can see that the way I'm counting it, you can see that 5 is longer than 3. Just kind of a rough measurement shows you that it was 161% of 3, and the span of 1 through 3, it was 138% of that. So when the 5th wave is the extended wave, it generally comes back to the internal second of that 5th. Now, a diagonal doesn't have an internal second per se, but I think as a default we can use the B wave. So it comes down in A, B, C, that finishes the 5th wave, and you can see the retrace sought that point. Okay, came right back to that nicely. So that tells me that my analysis is probably spot on. As you can see, it's performed approximately a little bit more than a 61% retrace, which is about what you would expect. So I think we're on track. I think this would be a great place to make a trade. You would want to trade this short, and you would want to use this high here at 1.55732 as your out. I think this is a great setup for a low risk, high return short. I don't think that this second wave is done yet. You might want to wait a few minutes, but it's close, and I think this is a great place to take a shot. And if I'm right, it's going to have quite a ways to fall. If I'm wrong, well, you're going to lose about 60 pips. That's today's call. I hope you'll join me again for tomorrow's call.